Welcome to this thing called life.
What is up, everybody? Another week has passed, and we're back at it again. I'm Dave, joined here with Michael Kelly on the other side of the screen. Mike, say hello.
Yo, what up? Episode 8, baby.
Yeah.
Here we are. We doing it.
Yes, we are. So, how are you?
I'm good, man. How are you, bro?
Good, man. Can't complain. Or I could, but nobody will listen.
And no one cares.
Or maybe that's a dad joke because we're a podcast and people listen. No, that wasn't my dad joke. Anyways.
Some people do listen, huh? It's weird. That's like a double, I don't know.
Yes. And hey, for you guys that left us some reviews, thank you so much. We appreciate that very, very much. Thank you guys.
Yeah, very much, man. We appreciate your input.
Right, because we're, we enjoy doing this, obviously, but we're doing it for, you guys. You guys are going to keep us going. And we just want to share our input on things and shit we've gone through personally and hope that it reaches someone and it helps someone out. So,
absolutely. Last episode was with my buddy Joey Lee Cabral, and he opened up and was very honest.
Yeah.
Very transparent, and man, that was a good episode. So if you guys have not heard episode 7, please go back and check that out because it was very, very in-depth, deep, honest, real. It was great, man.
It was. Very good episode.
So thank you, Joey.
He got real with us. That's for sure. Anyways.
So what's up, my guy?
I got my classic dad joke ready. It is locked and loaded.
Do it.
So this is it. All right, you ready? So I guess it's like a scenario. So I'm gonna paint the picture for you. All right. A Mexican magician says he'll disappear on the count of 3. Uno, dos, poof. He disappeared without a trace.
Oh, God. Oh, my God.
Come on, that was decent, right? That was decent.
Híjole.
Yeah. I
Adios
thought
mío.
it was good. I thought it was funny. It was a good one.
It's a good usage of the trace word. Yeah, the trace in Spanish. You got to know a little Spanish, I think, to know that joke. You got to know a little,
Yeah, I guess. I mean, most of the people
need
listening are probably know a little bit of the basic.
Hopefully.
Uno.
I mean, we
dos,
should.
Tres, cuatro, cinco. All right.
Uno,
Michael,
dos, tres.
what do we have today on the menu?
Well, we have interesting topics today. I don't even know how we picked these up this week, but it was just things that were on our mind.
Well, I know how we
don't
picked up
respond.
one of them,
Yeah.
but go ahead.
It was weird. I don't know why we picked these up, but today on tap, we're going to talk about healthy habits. We're going to talk about our top 5 male rockets, and we're going to describe what a male rocket is if you've never heard the term. And number 3, we're going to be talking about the powerful church. The church. That's right. Controversial topic today, the church.
That is going to be controversial.
Yes. That one's going to be fun. But we'll save that for last because it's a little bit heavier. And we'll start with something a little bit lighter, but also very necessary, and that's healthy habits. Dave was actually talking about healthy habits on Facebook today. Dave, what's on your mind when it comes to healthy habits, my friend?
So, listen, this all started because, I should say this all stemmed from being home with my son for the past month and not working. And I was so lazy because, the kid needs attention. You got to hang out with him, this, that, He's only 4 months. So it's like, let me tell you something. I gained a lot of weight. I mean, I gained a good amount of weight. And not proud of it. Nope, not proud of it. And, not only that, but this even came to my mind even when he was first born back in September was, it's more like I want to make sure that I'm going to be there for my son. Like, no for like no matter what it is, no matter what it is. But most importantly, I guess the more sports side of it, and him playing sports, and just I guess playing with him in general. Let's erase sports, but just playing with him in general, whether it be in the yard, swimming in the pool, whatnot. I want to make sure my ass is gonna be in shape, and because of the weight gain and all that and not working, it was just like I probably put on a good 10, 15 pounds, I would say, and which is unfortunate. And I mean, it's I want to I want to start living a healthier lifestyle, but most importantly, living it for my son. So that I'll make sure that I'm going to be there with him every step of the way, and there's obviously health risks when people start getting bigger than what their normal weight should be, and this, that, and the third. So I just want to make sure that doesn't happen to me, and start taking care of my body a little better.
Absolutely, man. I remember when I had my first kid, that's exactly what went through my mind. When I had my son, I looked at him, I said, man, especially having a boy is kind of crazy because when you have a boy, you're like, man, what if he plays sports like I did? What if he's going to play hockey or skateboard, or what if he's going to, and you just want to be able to, not just be there and physically be able to play with him and show him, but also to compete with him and to push him a little bit and to get him to, do what he's going to do. I think, you know, I love the moments I had with my dad playing one-on-one basketball and football and things that throwing the ball in the backyard. Those moments are probably some of my favorite moments I've ever had.
Definitely, definitely. So
So
that's
what's step number one, bro, for you? What's step number one? What's the first habit you're going to create or take out or
changing
add or
changing my diet.
boom,
Changing the
boom,
diet
boom.
particularly. And I think you remember, I think it was 2 or 3 episodes ago, I started off, I was like, dude, you're gonna hate what I just ate. And it was 3 chili dogs. No, it was 3 hot dogs
Jesus.
with sloppy
Oof.
joes on it. So not only is it changing your diet and cutting that stuff out, also
Hmm.
portion control. And
Portion
me
control is
personally,
really hard.
right,
Hmm.
and me personally, I've always been a very fast eater. Like if we were out to a diner with a whole group of friends, I was always the first one done. Like I always ate fast. So that's another thing I'm starting to be conscious of now too, is slowing down eating, because they say, if you eat a little slow, if you eat slower, it makes you feel more full. That's what they
Gives your brain
say.
time to process how full your stomach is.
Right. Is exactly, instead of me just eating whatever looks good.
Hmm.
Fat boy problems. So it's like, that has a lot to do with it. I'm gonna cut out soda. I gotta cut out the soda, the sugar part of it, and all that. And you know, I gotta start it off right.
For the record, David is not fat. For those of you who can't see us, obviously, David is not fat. Just to give you an idea, he's not like this fat dude behind a mic or anything like that. He's actually just a regular looking dude. He's not, he's not a fat dude or not like that. But he is at the
But
age,
I
like
got a
we,
dad bod.
well, yeah, a little bit. I mean, who doesn't know? You know what I mean in
You
your
want to see my
situation. But
stomach,
there's,
bruh?
that's not that bad.
Bro.
You can definitely come back from that.
Thank you.
That's not like so bad where you're not gonna be able to come back from that.
No,
I've
no,
seen
right,
dudes come back from way worse.
right. And even my wife was saying to me too. She's like, even after you cut soda out for like a week, you'll probably start seeing a difference.
Yeah, every
And
good step you make, you do see a difference.
right. And
Every.
my job is very physical. My job
Hmm.
is very exercising, walking. I'm doing a lot of steps. Those people that count their steps on their Fitbits, if you work for a company like I do, you'll be getting your steps in. That's for sure. But
Oh yeah,
it's very physical, heavy lifting on certain packages and walking it up, climbing up people's stairs, up on their porches, whatever. And yeah, so if between my job, changing my diet, portion control, and just eating healthier, it should all hopefully blend together and create something beautiful and
dude.
help me lose some
You know what I
pounds.
do? You know what I do, bro?
What
This
do you
is
do?
like easiest thing. So for me, is like I try to make sure I'm getting my protein. And obviously, what I like to do is I like to lift weights,
Hmm.
intense weights,
Right.
not
And
long workouts, not long workouts, just intense weights for 45 minutes to an hour, about 4 or 5 times a week. That's my exercise portion. When it comes to nutrition, the only priority really have in general is getting my protein in because I need to recover muscles.
mm,
But after that, I enjoy pizza, I enjoy beer, I enjoy having drinks. in moderation, of course, and not like every day, but I'll
Right.
pick certain days where I can go ahead and go ape shit. But the big thing for me is like, I love to be a real person,
Yeah, yeah.
you know?
Totally. So and I think once I get down to the weight I'd like to, because they say for an average person my age, the average person my age, my height, weighs about 159 to 189. They say that's what they say. That's what study says.
How tall are you?
I'm 5'11",
Okay.
and my weight right now is like 220. So I'm like 30, 40, 30 pounds overweight. So
You're 220, you said? 225?
yeah, 220.
220, and you're supposed to be at one.
The average is between 159 and like 189, I think they said.
So 160, 180, somewhere in there. You should probably be around 180. Well,
Right.
175.
Right, exactly. I can't remember the last time I was down to that low. Let me tell you that. Probably
Yeah.
back when I skateboarded with you many, many moons ago.
You're
but
probably lighter. You're probably lighter.
but yeah. But it's so, that's my goal. And then once I get down there, I think once I learn and I start getting in the habit of portion control, because that's probably one of my biggest downfalls right now is I can eat anything. I can eat everything, and like, dude, DiGiorno pizza, I could eat that whole thing by myself. It's just absolutely terrible,
Same.
and I can't, and I won't feel bad about it.
Yeah.
But
Bro, you should check out, man, is because portion control is all of Americans' problems. But if it doesn't work out for you and you have a hard time figuring out portion control, what you may want to do is what I do is I now fast every day 16 hours, and it allows you to have basically no portion control at the end of the day and still hit a lower calorie surplus, not like or lack of surplus.
Right.
At the end of the, so you can have that DiGiorno pizza if you want, but then it's nighttime, so you got to go to bed anyway. So it's like you work hard. You don't eat, which is going to take practice, obviously.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
That's what I do. That's what I figure because I'm busy like you, bro. Like when I clock into work, there's no time to eat. If I get a protein bar, I'm happy. But I drink black coffee and water pretty much till I'm done with work. And then I have a huge dinner. You know what I mean? So that's one way to do it. And your stomach, like with intermittent fasting, your stomach will drop like waist sizes in like a week or two. Like, I swear to God. That bloat that you have will just be like, gone. It'll be gone, bro.
Yeah, because like that's one of the biggest things too is pants that I have, bro. Whew, getting real tight on me now. Getting real tight.
Yeah.
I'm looking like that Jimmy Fallon video. Everybody's talking about my tight pants. I got my tight pants. You know what I'm talking about? I got my tight pants on. Like that's what I currently look like on all my pants. So it's not very flattering. And but yeah, so like the thing with me though is I think if I didn't eat all day, me personally with my job, I probably wouldn't have any energy. Like that's because it's
You would though. After like 2 days of doing it, your body will switch on to fat burning mode, and all the fat that is on your body will be converted to energy. And it's science, bro. It's not even my opinion, bro. You don't want to hear it. No one likes to hear it, right?
no, but listen, I
But it's
appreciate
true.
your
I'm
opinion
not
though.
even lying to you. Like I'm being honest. Like
That's absolutely.
once you
I
do
want
this
to be
your body,
honest.
you're good.
Interesting.
It is. Look it up. It's science, man. We're
Well,
actually
see, like-
meant to be fasters. Like we're actually created biologically. But
Right.
because McDonald's is so convenient and food is so convenient around us, we end up just, hey, I feel like eating something. Okay. 10 minutes later, you have food in your hands.
Right.
Like, but back in the day, we had to hunt our damn food. We'd go days without eating. And then boom, big feast. Like everyone's like, oh yeah, let's do it. Feast. That's what we're supposed to do.
And that's one of the things with me though is that I don't know any of that stuff. I never learned about it. I never did anything like that. So it's going to be a whole new road for me to travel down. And
I'm looking forward to seeing you, man. I'm gonna be on your ass.
thank you, and I appreciate that. I need people to be on my ass, and my wife's 100% there with me, and and she's going to do it with me, because obviously after having the baby, you know how women get. It's not bad. And I'm going to support her too. So we're going to have our backs 100% with each other. And, she wants to shed that baby fat is what they call it, I think. So we'll see how it all goes.
Baby fat.
Isn't that baby back ribs? I don't know.
Baby fat,
Anyways.
baby fat.
So yes.
Dude, I got you, man. I'm going to be on your ass. I'm going to be tracking you every week.
And, maybe I'll give you a weekly outlook on it. I mean, I'm gonna do the whole thing. I'm gonna take a picture of what I look like now what I look like now, and then take a picture a week from now because it's starting tomorrow. That's that. Well, it kind of started today a little bit, but it's really starting tomorrow. So,
Dude, okay. So let's segue into something. We're all inspired by certain dudes out there, like as men. We look to other men and we're like, you know what, that guy's awesome. I want to be like that guy. Well,
he's got a great
David, you
haircut.
brought up a interesting term. I think it was in episode 1 or 2. Go ahead
It
and
was
tell them what
definitely
this term
episode
is.
1.
Was it? It was episode 1?
It had to have been. I think we just
There's a
went balls
term.
in and just did it.
There's a term that David came up with, and it is called the
Well, I
man
didn't.
rocket.
Oh, hold on. I didn't come up with it.
Okay, you didn't come up with it?
No, I didn't come up with it. I heard it
Well, it
on.
is an actual term, right?
It is a term, and I heard it on a hockey podcast that I listen to called Spit and Chicklets. Shout out to those guys. Check them out. They're hilarious dudes. And if you like sport of hockey, obviously. And and the term is man rocket. Michael, tell them the definition of a man rocket.
So a man rocket is actually a hockey term, right? In hockey, a male player whose physical appearance and on-ice skills combined actually cause men and women alike to be aroused.
Exactly. A man rocket. It doesn't just have to be hockey related.
No, it's a cool term, man.
It is.
I've heard like man chocolate. I've heard
Man
what's another
chocolate?
term? I mean, man candy.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, we're not gay, but we're comfortable throwing these things
Oh,
around
yeah.
because we're dads and we
Right.
watch TV and we know what's cool. We see
Yeah.
what's going on.
And I'm in
you know?
touch with my,
Yeah.
self.
So, dude, do you have a top 5?
We got a top 5. So,
do we?
oh yeah. Oh yeah. And
Let's go one by one. You go first, and I'll give you my one. Or actually, let's start with 5.
let's
We'll
go
up to
5
number
and
1.
5.
Yeah, let's
All
go
right.
5. Go ahead. You go first.
All right. I'm talking about the actor from the hit TV show This Is Us, because everybody needs a Jack in their life. And his name is, I think it's pronounced Milo Ventimiglia. He's a very handsome fella.
I have not seen this fellow.
He's a very handsome fella. And I think it's the way he carries himself on that show that makes him even more attractive. you know what I'm saying? Total man rocket. Like,
Yeah, he's got the swag. Of
oh yeah,
man. He's got
yeah, and
masculine
just
swag.
right, and just the type of dude that he is on the show. But not only that, like I've seen him on interviews, like on Ellen and stuff, and the dude's an awesome guy, such a good personality, and all that, and that's my number 5.
Nice. My number 5 would be the most obvious choice, I think, probably in public, and that would be Dwayne The Rock Johnson. The guy is
Ooh, I was thinking about
obviously
putting him on.
stud.
Yep.
What?
I said I was thinking about putting him on my list. He is not on my list.
Yeah, so Dwayne The Rock Johnson is like my mom's favorite. And I mean, I think Dwayne is great, but personally, I just think it's his work ethic, it's that ambition he's got. He's got such a focus and drive that I think a lot of dudes look up to him for. And I think that's why he's so popular. So I had to put him on the list to start it off right, you know?
Good. I hear that. I hear that. So my number 4, everybody knows him. Just in the movie we were just talking about 2 weeks ago. Actually, excuse me, last week we were just talking about it in his newest movie that he directed with Lady Gaga. I'm talking about Mr. Bradley Cooper.
Yeah, man, that's a solid choice.
He is a handsome guy, and I think it's because now I know he can sing, and coming from a musician that I am, that's a good turn on, right? For people, and not only that, but I mean he's a handsome looking dude, and I'm trying to get my hair kind of like his. I really like his hairstyle, but
His beard is legit.
dude, that too.
Solid beard, great smile, talented as shit, directing and acting at the same fucking time.
Yeah, handsome
good choice,
guy,
dude.
handsome guy.
Solid. All right, number 4, I'm going with one of my favorite young up-and-coming actors, Michael B. Jordan. This guy was a beast in Black Panther. He was a beast in Creed 1 and Creed 2. This kid is super freaking talented, and he's got a sick-ass fitness level that I've never seen. I haven't seen too many actors dedicate to the conditioning he's done.
Right.
He's incredible, man.
Don't forget about Black Panther.
That's what I said. Yeah, Black Panther
Yeah.
and Creed, man. He's And in Black Panther, he made that movie for me. A guy who can be a good guy and a bad guy and be just as good in both roles. Incredible.
It's so funny because I was thinking about him too, and I almost put him on too. Dude, if we did a top 10, we probably would have had like the same people almost.
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah,
Anyways,
yeah. He's my number four. What's up with number three, bro?
number three, huge fan of his, I am. And he is actually a legit man rocket. He plays goalie for the New York Rangers, and that's Mr. Henrik Lundqvist. Dude, dresses. He's the best dressed. If you ask any of those players on the team who the best dressed teammate is, they're all gonna say Henrik Lundqvist. Dude's got style. He's into the fashion. Got a great smile, great hair. He's very talented in the net. Uh, Total man rocket for sure.
Rocket Man. Anyway, by the way, Rocket Man is a song written by Elton John, who I don't know if the hockey players stole that term and just flipped it
I don't know.
because Rocket Man is about
Maybe.
dudes.
Maybe that's where it originated from. Who knows? Who knows?
I just thought of it. I don't know why. Anyway, that was a good choice, dude. I don't know hockey too much, so I'm gonna have to take your word for that one.
But you're gonna have to look him up. Let me tell you that.
For sure. I mean, definitely anything, any kind of man candy, eye candy. Anyway, moving along. We're not gay, by the way. If you're tuning in,
Dude, I'm sure the women that are listening to this are like, oh my God.
yeah, dude. They're like, yes. Oh my God, yes.
Go ahead. Number three.
All right. Well, you did a sport one. I'm gonna do a sport one. Okay.
Yes.
My number three is coming in hot and heavy with JJ Redick, the shooting guard for the Philadelphia 76ers. He just whomped my Lakers ass today a couple hours ago. And he's a killer 3-point shooter. He came from Duke University. Fucking beautiful man. Beautiful fucking guy. Great hair. Nice skin tone. Beautiful fucking jump shot. Solid player. He's not fast. He can't jump. He's white as fuck. But the dude scores buckets, man. And he's classy. He gets fouled, doesn't get excited, maintains composure. He's a man's man. He's got kids. All right, I'll get off his jock. But yeah, JJ Redick.
Nah, bro, you can totally stay on his jock. It's fine. Anyways, so for my number two, he is most recently known in the new movie that just came out, Aquaman. He's also starred in Game of Thrones. I'm talking about Jason Momoa. You want to talk about ripped? Bro, this dude is ripped. You ever see the videos of him throwing the axes and doing all this crazy shit? Bro, the dude is just a stud. He's a stud. Why are you over there shaking your head?
I knew you were going to do that. I knew it.
Did you?
Predictable. I knew you were going to throw him in there. I knew it.
Dude, he is just an absolute stud. There is a meme going around on Facebook that was like the kids are like, "Mom, let's go see Aquaman," and there's a picture of Jason Momoa standing there shirtless, and the mom's like, yeah." Like the dude is just an absolute man rocket.
Dude, women love that guy, bro.
I love that guy, bro.
There's like, I know women just like, we need to go see that movie. Like, do you know what kind of comic book it is? No, we don't care.
No, we don't care. It's got this ripped, handsome Hawaiian guy in it.
Rocket in water for most of the movie. He's wet most of the film.
Exactly.
Like, honey, you're wet most of the film.
Oh shit, that's a good one. Dude.
Okay, since we're going comic book land, I got one for you, right?
Okay, hit me.
Number two, he's an older gentleman. He's a very well trained, classically trained actor. He's done some things on Broadway. He's done some dramas. Not known too much for his comedy, though he is a funny dude. You could call him a laughing man. The one and only Wolverine, Hugh Jackman. 50 years old, and the guy gets shredded to the bone for his films. That's dedication, because I'm 33, and that shit is fucking hard to get shredded. Plus, his range is stupid. And the thing I like about him is if you see him in interviews, he's super fucking humble and loves the shit out of his wife. And just, he's an Australian dude that's just like, hey, I'm just from Australia and I act and I'm fucking badass. And I love that about him. Like, to be that talented and not be a cocky little son of a bitch,
Uh
I tip my hat to him.
huh. That's a good one. That's a good one. I can see your inspiredness throughout these guys.
Yeah.
I can see how they've
Yeah, for
had
me, it's not
impacts for you.
sexual sometimes. Sometimes it's just inspirational.
Yeah. So, last but not least, number one, Man Rockets. Is yours the obvious one?
Yeah, we'll save it for last.
Is yours the obvious one?
Yeah.
Okay. Can you guess who my number one is? I'll give you a hint.
Musician.
Yes, he is a musician.
You want him on the podcast.
What?
You want him on the podcast.
Ah, dude, if I could get this guy on the podcast, this podcast would have millions of views. Let me tell you that. So I don't think you think who I don't think you know who I think it is or something.
It's millions of views.
Yeah,
dude.
it would
It's
have
gotta be
millions.
Very famous.
Oh,
Is he
yeah.
a drummer, guitar player? Is he all the
No,
above?
he is a vocalist, and he's out on tour currently, and solo artist right now. He used to play in a group. He used to sing in a group back in the late 90s, early 2000s.
Justin Timberlake.
Ding, 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 ding. Yes, it is.
I'm so
The man
fucking good at
himself,
this shit.
JT. Woo!
Hey,
Bro, whoo! Come on now.
He's bringing sexy back, bro.
Bro, he's always been sexy. Like, except the time when he had the ramen noodle hair. But I guess that was the style back then, you know? But,
He's a man of the woods.
yeah. Dude, such a talented guy. Such a talented man, dude. He can sing. He can dance. He's handsome. He's got a great smile too. You know, and just the way he carries himself on stage is just incredible. And it's kind of like again, like we said earlier, coming from a musician's aspect, you totally respect that. You totally respect that, you know, of the guy. And not only that, he's a family man. He's got his son. He's got his wife. You know.
His wife, yes, his wife.
Yes, you know his wife. Oh yeah, JT, pound it. Yeah, dude, and just like he's such an awesome all around dude, and I would love to meet him sometime. And he's funny too, like the stuff he does with like Jimmy Fallon and everything like that. They're like best friends. Like, love myself some Justin Timberlake.
His Dick in a Box fucking skit was classic as hell. People still joke around about that.
I was gonna do that one year for Halloween. That would have been hilarious, right? But it wouldn't have been my dick. It would have been like a dildo or something, you know. The dick in a box.
Bye.
All right.
Anyway, Cry Me a River. So anyway,
Nice.
we could pun Justin Timberlake songs
Oh my
like in
goodness.
titles all day. All right, my number one is obvious to Dave, obviously. Like, Dave knows me. He knows this. If you follow me on Instagram, you probably fucking know what my number one is. You may know him as Van Wilder. You may know him betterly known as Deadpool, the merc with a mouth. It is none other than RR himself, Ryan Reynolds. And it's for the obvious reasons. Not only is he just devilishly good looking and witty as fuck, but he's also a family man, and he's also the writer of most of the he's helping write a lot of the stuff in Deadpool. He's directing and he's doing a lot of other shit too on the side. Great drama actor, great comedian. It's just gonna be a matter of time before he wins an Oscar. Ryan Reynolds is the shit right now, and he took the world by storm and with Deadpool 1, and he hasn't looked back since. And I do believe that Ryan Reynolds will probably get Hugh Jackman to put the claws back on. I got a weird feeling that some of the shit we're gonna see in the MCU soon is gonna be crazy. But yeah, that's my top one male rocket. This guy is incredible. I mean, I'm not gay, but number one makes you kind of tempted, you know?
Oh, dude. Yeah. Yeah, he's a handsome fella. That is
Your number one is always the dangerous one. Like,
it is a dangerous one.
Temptation. It's a shit.
Yes, sir.
Anyway, talking about temptation and sins.
Yes. I hope you guys enjoyed our man rock. Our man rockets.
Let's close that. Never open that again.
What? You never want to open
Let's
that
close
again?
the man rocket thing and never open the man rocket book ever again.
I think it'll get opened again quite often. Actually, I think we're going to be bringing that up a lot now.
Yeah, definitely.
Love me some man rockets. Okay.
Let's stop sinning right now in our minds and focus on our next topic.
Uh huh. Uh huh. That is at the church.
The church.
The church. And this is going to be heavy for you guys.
Let's do a little back. Let's do a little background of both of our experiences in church, Dave, to give people our perspective, because we don't want to come out here and just say what we feel without giving the proper context about how we feel, because I've done that before, and then people definitely jump to conclusions about things we're saying. So,
Mm-hmm.
do you want to give you a little bit of your background when you first started going to church? What you understand about that faith and that religion? Give them a little bit of your background.
Yeah. Well, I mean, growing up in the Christian household, the parents going to church, obviously then me and my sister going to church as well with them as kids, growing up in the church, doing all that stuff, doing this every Sunday morning thing. I'm not going to call it a routine, but doing the every Sunday morning thing. And just, now being older, you start having different aspects and the way you see things and the way you see certain people now. And, we're told to believe one thing growing up, when we're kids and when we're teenagers, but then you get to a certain age where you're just starting to make your own decisions now for your life. And, now you're in total control of your life. You're out there living on your own, and things start to change. A lot of things start to change. And one of the biggest things with me one of the biggest things with me, and probably with a lot of people, I'm sure Mike can even relate to it too. I'm sure a lot of people can. And for some reason, people in the church think they can, they think they're right, you're wrong. That's the way I feel about it. And because of that outlook on it, because it's like, oh, you don't, you have tattoos. Oh, what did they call it? The human body is God's creation. It's that you ruin God's creation. Like, people would say stuff like that. People, you got a piercing. Oh my God. And it's just like the judgmental side. And that's where I'm going to go with that. The judgmental side of it really gets me. And that's where I think things started changing for me.
Well put, man. So for me, growing up in church, I'm a pastor's son. As many of my close friends know, I'm a pastor's son. I've been a pastor's son for a long time. I've been in church since I was actually 5 years old. So I was there Sunday, Wednesday, sometimes 3, 4 days a week, depending on what was going on. And I was raised believing an evangelicalish, Assemblies of God-ish way of believing church, believing in God, believing the Christian faith. And as David said, as you grow older, you start challenging some things. I grew up in the 90s. I was one of those 90s kids that we weren't politically correct and we didn't believe in being politically correct. So we challenged a lot of shit. I'm a punk kid. I listen to punk music. I listen to old Wu Tang and rap. So I was like, yo, fuck the system. I always saw the hypocrisy and the fakeness, and like Dave said, the judgment that the church would give. And of course, I started challenging it. And as I got older, I started experimenting with different ideas, different beliefs. And even the older I got into my 20s, I would say around my mid 20s is when I really was like, I don't know if I believe any of this shit anymore, and not to call it shit, because I think the church is a good place. It is a place where you can grow, and it is a place to call community. But I no longer feel like I need to lean on it for the only answers in life, and to say whatever they believe is right, whatever I believe, needs to be what they believe. Otherwise, I'm wrong. And I think a lot of Christians are probably going to hear this podcast. So I want you guys to understand that I'm not saying that church is worthless. I'm not saying that it doesn't have a place. I'm not saying that it's wrong. I'm just saying there are certain aspects of all humanity in different beliefs, different communities, different organizations. None of us are perfect, and we're inventing new ways of thinking all the time. We're challenging new ways of thinking all the time. So that's where I'm at now in my life, where, I have a family and now I have to kind of recalibrate, take some roots out and replant, as you will, some new beliefs and new ideas, which is taking a lot of reading, a lot of meditation, a lot of thought process. So it's nothing I take lightly. It's not like I just threw the baby out with the bathwater and was like, yeah, fuck this shit. Like I'm done. Like I'm rolling out. But no, I've really decided to search for truth no matter where the truth may be found. So with that said, David, you were talking about the Grammys to me earlier, and there's a Christian band that recently, well, I don't know if it's recently, but you know more about this band than me, but they recently decided to throw the religious label off their label, and they're saying things like fuck in their music now and expletives, and they have a whole new message. Go ahead, talk about
Right.
that a little bit.
And it's like one of the things to me is, we were obviously brought up, we were raised where, don't say this, don't say that. But it's just a word. Like, that's the part that blows my mind now looking back at it. Is, yeah, people get offended when you say shit, when you say fuck. But why?
It's just
Like,
a word. It's an adjective, just like anything else.
exactly.
Is it a poor adjective?
It's
Of
just
course,
a
but it's
form
also a
of just
powerful one.
like, just the way to describe something. Oh, this smells like shit. It smells bad. Bad and shit is technically the same thing. Shit is bad. And it's I'm sorry, I just completely got off.
No, you're on point. But
Got off the topic there. But
the reason why I wanted to bring Under Oath into this is
yes.
because they were a band that they were not saying things like this.
Right. They were
They were not acting that way initially, or they were, but they were hiding it
Right.
because it was kind of like they weren't being authentic. They felt like they needed to fall under the Christian label.
Right. And a lot of those guys in the band were brought up through, church, youth group, this, that. And, they always said on stage that, we're up here for, one reason, and that's because of Jesus Christ. And if you don't know him, find, whatever, go to church, find him, get help, all that. And, which a lot of people respected. And that really brought on a large group of Christians to listen to their music. And there's obviously other Christian bands out there. But anyways, they broke up for a while. They broke up for a few years. Aaron left the band. The drummer, Aaron Gillespie, left the band. And one of the reasons why they broke up was because a lot of those guys started having different beliefs and different things. They all start having their own beliefs. Just like how Mike and I are talking about now is the way we've grown up, and you start seeing things in a clearer picture, and just, things start to change. And that's what happened with this band. And now they're back together. All original members are back together, and they got past that because, they're older now and they're more mature about it, and they see things, they know now it's okay to see things differently. Unlike the way we were brought up was, oh, this person's gay. That makes them a bad person. That's the shit that goes on in churches, in certain churches, is the judgmental side of it. Oh, because you're not on my team, you're on the other team, that makes you not okay. And that's one of the problems that one of the biggest things that also is what I don't like about it. And that goes back to judging as well, I guess. Here they are judging this person because they're gay, and all that. But anyways, back to Under Oath. They are nominated for a Grammy. The first time they have ever been nominated for a Grammy. And like Mike said, they ditched the Christian label, and they don't consider themselves a Christian band anymore, which is fine. But there's people out there, because they said fuck on a song, oh my God, that makes them bad. That makes them bad people. They're devil worshippers now, and that's what people think about them. And that's so sad. That's so sad to me that people think about this, and that's the way that they portray them because they said a bad word. Like, it's I was doing air quotations for those that can't see because this is a podcast. But, and that's just mind boggling. Like, here's these grown ass men who have families, who have kids, who have wives. You're going to go and judge them and say, oh my God, they're bad people now. They're devil worshippers because they said fuck. Like,
Your lifestyle's bad
there's
because you're not
there's
living the way I wanna live.
there's worse things going on in this world besides worrying about what someone says on a song, and just that's one of the big stents of mine with the church.
Yeah, so Under Oath is nominated for a Grammy. I just found out, which is super dope because, I mean, not being nominated for a Grammy for a band that has come from where they come from is a huge deal. These guys were basically very limited in their genre. And when you're in the Christian genre, you can win Dove Awards, which I'm sure they won Dove Awards, bro. I'm sure they won multiple Christian awards. And,
Probably.
after a while, you're
Right.
like, okay, what's my real potential though?
Mm-hmm.
Like, how can I reach more people? And then you realize I can't reach people within a box. I need to be outside of a box. And the misconception, I think, with the church is they say, oh, well, that's secular and we can't be a part of that. But it's like, you know what, bro, you work at a secular job. You work everywhere you walk outside of the door is secular. As soon as you step outside of the church, it's secular. You're in the real world all the fucking time.
Yep.
So the reality is there's no such thing as Christian music. Music doesn't have a religion. Music doesn't have any label. All it has is genres. And even sometimes it's hard to even put a genre on certain music. So if you think about it, there really is no box. And human beings are the same way. I don't understand when we started labeling ourselves. I am a Christian. I am a Muslim. I am a Buddhist. The reality is, bro, they're all principles at the end of the day that people gathered and lassoed together and threw inside of a fucking box.
Right.
And that's my biggest problem is like they're gonna talk shit about this band, bro, because they went ahead and did what they felt they needed to do. They were following their instincts, they're following their gut, they're following, and they didn't take it lightly. Most of their albums are all labeled Christian. They come out with an album that they felt was more from the heart, and you could feel the difference in the album. This album they came out with is fire, the newest one. You could feel the difference, and now they're succeeding. And of course, they're going to have probably their grandma, their aunt, people close in their family are probably going to say behind their back, like, "Oh yeah, but look, they had to sell out to do it." Like all this mean shit. And for successful people like Under Oath, and even myself, that's the kind of shit you have to tune out. And it sucks to say that, but Under Oath is going to have to tune a lot of that shit out because the church is notorious for that stuff. Like it's notorious. Not all churches, of course. I'm not painting them all that way, but a lot of them are. A lot of them are. So, and just recently, actually, uh, the mega church here in El Paso called Abundant Living, which is a very well known church. I've been there multiple times. They just bought a music venue by Mr. Ward, who is I believe, the lead singer of Sparta, I believe, or something. And he actually owns the venue. And actually, that venue is now owned by Abundant Living Faith Center. So it made news a couple of days ago. And to be honest, quite frankly, I was upset because my wife and I have gone there many, many times on many dates. I've gone there with my friends many times, listened to Christian bands, non-Christian bands. I've listened to rappers, artists, indie, all kinds of genres, all kind of music from all walks of life. And boom, the church comes and buys it. And when they interview the pastor, Pastor Neiman says, "What was once an ungodly place is now a place of worship," and blah, 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 blah. And so when quoted that, I obviously, it's probably something that he'll say is taken out of context. But even if you look at that sentence, you know damn well that as soon as you call something ungodly, you're casting what Dave just said? Fucking judgment.
Mm-hmm.
And that is the shit we need to end in this fucking world. That shit pisses me off so bad because that is the shit that limits our minds. We limit possibilities. There is more truth to me. I've seen more love and compassion at a fucking metal concert than I have ever experienced in a church. And you're going to fucking tell me this is an ungodly place. That shit pisses me off just because they serve alcohol there and people smoke weed. That's judgmental. That fucking pisses me off. And I really hope that someone picks up that load and creates a new venue in El Paso for us, because that was the only place we had to go and escape the regular mundane life and go live and enjoy ourselves for a while.
Well said. Well said. And that's the unfortunate part about it right now, is the way people judge. And like I was saying, if they, it goes back to when, they say, "Oh, you're not on my team," then screw you, And it sucks because we're all human beings, whether it's Buddhism, Buddhism, or I don't even know if that's the right saying, but
Hmm.
is that right? Right,
I think so.
whether you're this, it doesn't matter what you are. We're all human beings. We all have a life. We all have families, and yes, there's bad people in the world. Yes, there is, because people kill people for whatever reason. And I'm talking about straight up murder. I'm not talking about the people that are overseas fighting for our country. That's a completely different story.
Subject, yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And, but, yes, there is bad people, but we're all human beings. Don't judge this person because they slightly believe in something else different than you do.
Exactly.
You know,
Even if it's like slightly different, it's even slight differences are blown out of proportion, bro.
right. Right. And there is things like, I mean, me dating Danielle at the time it was tough for my family because she wasn't a Christian,
Mm.
and, she
She didn't
was
have a
raised in the
label.
Greek Orthodox Church.
Hmm.
She wasn't on their team, and it was difficult for me dating her. It was difficult for my family to see that. And that was tough for me because here I am. I'm sure a lot of people looked at me and judged me in the church that I went to at the time. I'm sure that happened because this guy's dating someone who is not a Christian. Oh my goodness. You know, what's going on here? This, that, and the third. They're gonna start judging. And I'm sure I got judged that. I'm sure I got some bad looks. I'm sure people were side eyeing me, you know? And anyways, I don't want to get too deeply into that because that's like personal life stuff, like real personal stuff. I'm not gonna throw people
Right.
under.
People may be listen.
Right,
People may
exactly.
be
I'm not gonna
listening.
throw people under the bus here.
Yeah,
But
that's not what we're doing here. No.
no, we're not here for that. But yeah, dude, it's just it sucks. And it's sad. Like you said, that shit makes you angry. But to me, like, yes, it makes me angry, but it's so sad
You know what?
that
It
people are
the
stuck in that bubble.
Yeah, the bitterness you get and the anger you develop realizing so much time you had wasted in this organization community called the church. You sacrifice your time playing drums and get bass like I did. Maybe you're an usher, maybe you're a member, and then you evolve and you realize, man, I spent years and years and years. And I think about it, man, ever since I was 5, I was sacrificing time to be in the church, And when I came to the realization, it was like, I don't smoke weed, first of all. I just want to let you guys know that. But yeah, I had this crazy revelation one day, and I don't know how it comes to people, but we all have it at some point in our life. And the way it happened for me is I literally said, what's the worst thing that's going to happen to you if you walk away from the church and take that time and reinvest it or invest it back into your kid, your wife, your career? What could happen? Like, imagine the positive possibilities of that extra free time. And part of me was like, well, yeah. But then the other part was like, well, no. What if you lose your soul? Because that's the lies they tell you, right? What if you lose your soul? Which that's a whole nother topic of conversation where these guys get the audacity to talk for God and speak on God's behalf as if like they're fucking neighbors to the guy. But I said, I got to put this fear thing away because anything generated from fear, anything generated from insecurity is going to be the wrong answer every fucking time. I swear to God. Whether that's opening your business, asking that girl out, trying to get that job, trying to land a new trick on your skateboard, creating that new song you wanted, writing down those sentences that you're scared people are going to judge you about. Fear is a bitch. And let me tell you, if you operate in fear, you will stay in a box, just like we're talking about. Bro, the one thing I realized about the church is most people go for a clear conscience, but that's a fucking cop out because they go there because they're scared. That's it. That is the only place they can clear their conscience by giving 10% of their money, which most only give 5%, by the way, but 10% of their money, and boom, I did my 2 hours at church or my 3 hours this week, whatever it was, and I'm going on.
And that makes them a better person now, they think.
They think.
I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah,
And
I don't know either. And that's the thing is like I was like, you know what? I need to try. I need to go ahead and venture out into the unknown. You know what I mean? And
right.
I think that's the thing is like when you venture out into the unknown, that's where the real truth lies, bro. Like the real good things in life are on the other side of a door that you've never been in before. And until you're willing to go there, you know what I mean? Until you're willing to try that, logically. And I'm not talking about tripping on acid and having some kind of weird, I've never done acid before. I'm going to do it. No, I'm not saying that shit. I'm saying like your lifestyle, the way you think, the way you operate. I actually boiled down my beliefs to two things. I've erased everything I believe and I've uprooted it. And I have two main things and they operate off of this. It is one. And what I'm doing and what I'm believing, is it hurting someone? If it's not, okay, take it a step further. Let's analyze it a little bit more. But if it is, then that's probably going to be an okay thing to do. Number two, am I hurting myself? If I'm doing something that is hurting myself, I shouldn't do it at all, ever, period. Unless it's saving someone, obviously.
Right.
But in general, everyday speaking, if I'm not hurting you, if I'm not hurting me, I'm going to be a pretty good person. I
Yeah.
can tweak things along the way, but that is the basics of being a human. If no one's told you that before, guys and gals, I'm telling you, for sure, I know this, that if you're not hurting you, you're not hurting someone else, you're on your way to be a good human. And that's something you should be doing every day.
Mm-hmm.
After that, it's debatable. Everything's debatable and rearrangeable after that. So, and if you look at the Ten Commandments, even, it's pretty much that.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
10 different ways of saying, don't hurt yourself and don't hurt others.
Right.
Be considerate of others' feelings.
Right.
Basic fucking shit. And then everyone wants to argue about the slight little things. Like Dave said, like, well, you don't quite believe it like I do. So you're going to put you in this club, but you're not allowed in our club because, we're over here and this is how we believe.
Right.
But what about being human? What about just accepting each other for who we are?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And like you were saying before earlier, you were talking about how you shouldn't live in fear, and you should just live your life the way you want to live it, basically. And that was, I'm gonna be straight up honest with you. Okay, that was that's definitely was one of the hardest things I was worried about when starting this podcast, was because a lot of shit's gonna come out that people don't know about me, and you know, I'm I'm okay with it now. I'm feel much better knowing that here I can actually be myself and I don't have to hide behind closed doors. And that was one of the things, and that's tough for me to say because I was always the person growing up that would always say, I don't care what other people think of me. And here in reality, I cared somewhat, I guess, you know, but yeah, dude, but it just feels so much better now. So like Mike said, don't live in fear. Be who you are. Show people this is what I am. Because in the end, once you get past that, once you get past that obstacle, you're gonna feel so much better. You're gonna feel so much better. That weight's gonna be lifted right off your shoulders.
It literally felt like a weight was lifted up my shoulders. The first week or two, I was scared when I stopped doing all the things that church people do, and I started taking that time and really enjoying my wife and my son, literally just doing nothing with them, and maybe just having breakfast or talking about our week and our goals and our dreams. All of a sudden, real growth started happening. I actually started reading even more than I was reading before. I started doing things that I never did before, just taking walks and doing cool shit,
Mm.
and basically asking the main questions. In psychology, they always talk about the main top questions of the why, the what, the where, the when. We stop asking those questions as we get older because we pretend like we have the answers. But here's the truth, guys: we're all guessing in this game, in this
Mm-hmm.
thing called life. We're all fucking guessing. We're all hoping that there's something on the other side. We're all hoping that we have the answers. We're all speaking on God's behalf. We're all acting like we know what's going on when the reality is we don't, because we keep finding new answers. We keep finding new things as we evolve as humans. And yes, we can say that, we still have issues. A lot of us still have issues, but the fact is we are evolving. We are learning. We are growing.
Yeah.
crime is slowly getting better. Human being poverty is slowly dwindling, but we are making progress, guys. We are. And the thing about it is, like, I choose to look at the positive side of human beings, and I realize I'm allowed to do that when I think this way. And but when you're stuck in a box, you end up basically trying to ward yourself away from negativity instead of ignoring it. Literally, negativity, even though it still affects me, it doesn't affect me like it used to do, because fear would cripple me from making decisions. I've always wanted to be known. I have. I've always wanted to be a known barber. I've always wanted to have my own company, which I'm going to do. I've always wanted to have a shop. I've always wanted to do things, be a business owner, and now I'm doing it. And honestly, if I was stuck in church feeling obligated to be there once, twice a week, donate my time and energy, to be honest, bro, I wouldn't be where I'm at right now, and I wouldn't be happy.
Mm-hmm.
With that said, some of you motherfuckers out there are like, this is bullshit, because I really like being in the church, and I really like operating the lights on Sunday, and I really like doing the videography for my progressive church on Sundays. And that's fine, dude. Like,
That's fine.
if that's you,
Absolutely.
you're probably a great dude, man. You're probably doing what you love. That's exactly where you should be.
Mm.
That's exactly where you should be, bro. And I'm not knocking that hustle at all, but I'm talking about most of you out there that are going there on obligation, not spending your fucking time, in a useful way. You guys have been at church for years and years and years. You're hearing the same fucking message over and over and over, and you're just bullshitting because you just want to feel better and a clear conscience, bro. You can get a clear conscience by meditating and reading some fucking books and listening to podcasts that are going to generate new thoughts in your brain.
Mm-hmm.
That's not going to do it. You're going through the fucking motions. Wake the fuck up and do something with your life. That's what I'm trying to say.
Right.
Chase your passion. Create a podcast. Join a band. Make art. Write a book. Do some cool shit. You can do better shit with your time than act like you have obligations that you don't.
Mm-hmm. So to end it, to wrap this up here, like one thing, obviously, like I mentioned before, when me and Danielle were dating, it was tough. And, we broke up for a couple days, like every couple does, I guess, for the first time they dated, right? Almost, maybe. But, it was a lot of things I was looking at and a lot of thoughts going through my mind when we broke up. And then I had a friend say to me, and he said, you really have to look at all of Danielle's, you know, all the characteristics about her and the way she carries herself. Yeah, she may not be a Christian, but look at her characteristics. Look at all these things that she does right. And that really opened my eyes. And we've been together ever since. I said, you know what? I want you back. I need you back. And we've been together ever since. Now we're happily married. Got a 4-month-old son. A roof over our heads, We're doing life. That's
Yeah,
what it
and you're
is.
happy. That's the main thing. Is
Right, and we're happy. So it's just that's the most important thing.
let me add to this real quick for some of you guys. So I know some of you guys are in my shoes right now. I know that some of you guys are listening to this and are like, dude, amen, for sure. Like, I feel you, bro. Well, here, let me clarify some things for you guys from my perspective and my journey. What I've learned is this: that characteristics and principles are going to be your foundation for life. Like, he said his wife had awesome characteristics, and we've talked about this on earlier podcasts. Whenever you find relationships with people, you want people with good character. We never said you want people that are Christians. We never said you want people that are this race or that gender or this. No, we talked about characteristics and principles because, first of all, we're not really good at those anyway as humans. We're getting better, but we're pretty shitty people, like, as far as like following principles and character. But when followed right, when being honest all the time or as much as you can, honesty is awesome. When you're loyal, that's awesome. You know what I mean? When you work hard, that's awesome. When you have perseverance, that's awesome. These are key principles and values, no matter what religion, no matter what human, no matter where you are, where you're from. These are the key things we should be looking into one another. These are the relationships we want with one another. And what is life without relationships? We need one another. So I'm not saying don't go to church and lock yourself in a room either. What I'm saying is, if you find yourself like me, where you don't need an organization, find people around you that think like you, that are trying to progress like you, that are trying to grow like you, that are trying to develop character and learn principles like you, so that you can be an awesome wife to a dude like Dave, an awesome dude like Dave. That's what you want in life, or find a friend that you can build a life with, or or a mate or a friend, whatever it is, a business partner, whatever. Find principles that you know are true, that they exemplify really well, and you can't go wrong with that, dude. You can't go wrong because that means you have an awesome human. That's it. That's all I gotta say. I just feel like that is something that I missed growing up, and those things are more important than anything
Mm-hmm.
that you can conjure, I guess.
Okay, so I'm gonna leave them with this now. Is if there's anybody out there that's listening, that's dealing with that kind of the same thing like I was with Danielle, and tough time because your parents don't agree with it. Well, listen, like I said, I'm sure that woman has some great characteristics. Whoever it is, do it. Just do it. Do you? Do you? And you're gonna be happy. Don't do what other people want. Don't do what other people tell you what's right. Make your own decisions for it. So that's all I gotta say.
Hell yeah, bro. Fuck what everyone says because it's not their life. And you know what? When they see you happy, your parents are gonna be happy for you later on down the road.
Hmm.
Sometimes to teach other people and to influence in other people, sometimes we just gotta live our life. Our actions speak way louder than words.
Hmm.
And when you finally chase your dream, you're gonna realize you're gonna turn around and realize that people that maybe doubted you one day, they're gonna turn around and say, "Hey, I'm glad he ignored my ass because I was wrong." And maybe they'll never admit they're wrong, and that's okay. You don't need that because you're better than that,
Hmm.
and you can just be happy that you taught them something.
Yes. So now that the real talk is over, a couple notes here for you listeners. We have two guests scheduled to come on. Um, One episode is going to be released next week with one of our guests. The next episode is going to be released 2 weeks from now. 2 weeks from now, because you're listening on a Monday. So it's going to be released 2 weeks from now. So we're going to have a couple guests on to be talking about this thing called life. So stay tuned for that, guys. Please, 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 thank you. And please, 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 and thank you for those that have left a review or rating. This goes back to please, please, please now. If you haven't yet, please, please, please leave a review and give us a rating. It helps us out. It encourages us to keep doing this because, you know, this is it's been fun and we've been getting the results. People are listening. And listen, if you guys have any questions, a question you want us to, talk on the show about, you have anything, hit us up on Twitter, Instagram, send us a message, whatnot. You can find us at TTCL Pod. T as in Tom, T as in Tom, C as in cat, L as in llama. Pod. So hit us up there, guys, with any questions. Maybe we'll do like a mailbag edition thing. Maybe one episode if we get enough questions. We could do like a little mailbag episode, Mike. And
Yeah, I'll send out a care package, man, and go ahead and tell your friends, tag your friend. Tell you
yes,
what, we'll run actually something on TTCL Pod Instagram soon, and we'll advertise maybe a little gift bag for you guys,
there
and
you
then
go.
have you tag like three of your friends in it to get it to grow a little bit,
Yep,
get this ball rolling, and then we'll send out a care package. We'll pick a lucky winner.
there you go. So stay tuned for that. Follow us. You can follow our personal accounts too, Mike.
Yeah, it's M.R.K. The barber. That's MRK the barber.
Yeah, and me, D_WIRHOWSKI. Thank you guys for joining us for another episode. We'll see you next week.
Peace.